lesser known heroes might not have big budget movies or blockbuster comics, but they've got powers and stories that'll absolutely blow your mind. My name is AJ with Top 10 Nerd, and these are the top 10 unstoppable superheroes you've never heard of. At number 10 is Brother Power the Geek from DC. Brother Power the Geek is a bizarre hero you've probably never heard of who emerged in the turbulent era of 1968. He's like a funky mix of Frankenstein and a hippie's fashion statement. Imagine a tailor's dummy being struck by lightning, brought to life, and then dressed in counterculture attire. That's pretty much Brother Power for you. He joined the psychedelic circus, ran for Congress, and even clashed with the biker gang, all in just 2 comic issues. But here's the kicker. In his final issue, Brother Power was shot into space, courtesy of none other than Ronald Reagan. It took him like 2 decades to return from comic limbo in Swamp Thing Annual number 5, but then he was reimagined as a failed elemental. And just like that, this quirky hero slipped back into the shadows of comic book obscurity. At number 9 is Normal Man from Renegade Press. Normal Man is a hero who never asked for his predicament. He burst onto the scene in Cerebus 56 back in 1983, a time when the comic book world was dominated by the likes of Superman and Batman. This unlikely hero is a spoof on Batman's legendary origin story. Instead of being a Kryptonian, he hails from the planet Levram, a world where everyone boasts superpowers, except for him, of course. Norm L was the odd one out, the lone powerless guy in a planet teeming with extraordinary abilities. But rather than wallow in self-pity, Normal Man embraced his role, embarking on adventures alongside characters like Captain Everything. Normal Man might not have a blockbuster movie franchise or a fancy costume, but his story is a testament to the power of embracing your uniqueness, even in a world where everyone else seems superhuman. If you're enjoying this video so far, please support the channel by pressing like, subscribing to Top 10 Nerd, and ringing that notification bell, all of which are free. At number 8 is Skate Man from Pacific Comics. Skate Man is a roller derby hero with a tragic twist, one of those hidden gems in the world of comics. Created in the 80s by Neil Adams, this character's story is a roller coaster of emotions. Billy Moon, a Vietnam vet turned roller coaster derby sensation, accidentally takes out his friend Jack during a match. This tragic accident sends him down a dark path as he learns that it wasn't just a freak accident, it was orchestrated by a ruthless biker gang targeting his girlfriend. Moon's transformation into Skate Man, complete with a colorful scarf and roller skates, adds a unique layer to the superhero archetype. This one-shot wonder may not be a household name, but his gripping story and distinctive persona make him a noteworthy addition to the pantheon of lesser-known superheroes. At number 7 is Super Teens from Archie Comics. Archie Comics, the beloved home of the Riverdale's iconic gang, that actually gave birth to some truly unheard of superheroes. Ever hear of Pure Heart the Powerful? Probably not. This average high school student, aka Archie Andrews, could morph into a flying powerhouse by tapping into his pH factor. No, not chemistry, it's having a pure heart. Yet after his heroic deeds, everyone around him would have a memory wipe. Isn't that a nifty way to keep a secret identity? But the fun didn't stop with Archie. Betty turned into Super Teen, Jughead donned the title of Captain Hero, and Veronica embraced her inner vanity as Miss Vanity. And Reggie, well, he became Evil Heart. Sounds pretty ominous. Even the pint-sized little Archie joined in, forming a crew as the Super Teens. They teamed up with Archie Comics' Crusaders for a limited 2-issue series, leaving us with an uncharted world of unassuming, unstoppable heroes. At number 6 is Super Hiip from DC Comics. Super Hiip isn't your average superhero. I mean, we're talking about Bob Hope's nephew who, when he gets a bit cheesed off, transforms into a groovy superhero, which they call Super Hiip. And he rocked the latest Carnaby Street fashion. It's like the ultimate blend of teenage rebellion and superhero shenanigans. But that's not all. Super Hiip went to Benedict Arnold High School, where the teachers were inspired by classic Universal Studios monsters, talking Dracula and Frankenstein vibes right in the classroom. So the next time you're pondering who the coolest unheard of superheroes are, don't forget to give Super Hiip a nod. At number 5 is Stingray from Marvel. Stingray is a Marvel Comics superhero, but he's a bit like the unsung hero of the Deep Blue Sea. Picture an oceanographer turned tech genius with a vision to create a utopian underwater city. Ever heard of Rapture? That's Walter Newell for you. He whipped up a slick suit that lets him explore the ocean's depths, and voila, Stingray was born. Now, you might not have heard much about him because he often plays the role of a supporting character. He's actually teamed up with heavy hitters like Namor, the Avengers, and the 50 State Initiative. But here's the kicker. Despite being around for half a century, he's only shown up in fewer than 200 comics. It's like having a superstar status, but hanging out backstage. If Stingray ever made a splash in the MCU, he could definitely be the oceanic hero we never knew we needed. At number 4 is is Ultra the Multi-Alien. Ultra the Multi-Alien is an obscure gem from DC Comics. Imagine you're just a regular space traveler minding your business, and then suddenly you crash land on a planet with 4 wannabe conquerors who blast you with transformation ray guns simultaneously. What do you get? Well, not your average superhero, that's for sure. One leg turns into lightning, the other grows feathers and talons. One arm becomes magnetic, and the other becomes super strong with green fur. It's like a mashup of superpowers, and the best part, he could revert to his original form with a nifty device. So Ace Arn decides to become a superhero and takes the stage in Mystery in Space. A quirky hero with unique super set, Ultra deserves a little more love among the comic book greats. At number 3 is 3D Man. Ever heard of 3D Man? No? Well, you're not alone. But this Marvel character has a history dating back to 1977. Chuck Chandler, a test pilot, was once kidnapped by Skrulls, those shape-shifting alien baddies. But Chuck didn't take it lying down. He sabotaged their spacecraft and made a run for it. And that's where it gets interesting. See, as Chuck fled, he vanished into a burst of light where the Skrull ship exploded. But that's not the end of the story. His brother Hal saw something truly bizarre. See, Chuck's essence got imprinted on Hal's eyeglasses, turning Chuck into a 2-dimensional being. When Hal focused, he could release Chuck, and they'd merge into a superhuman powerhouse with triple the strength, speed, and stamina of your average Joe. Now, 3D Man might not be on everyone's radar, but the legacy lives on through a character named Triathlon, who even joined the Avengers. Some obscure superheroes are hiding out there in a Marvel universe, sometimes hiding in plain sight. At number 2 is TwoPew Kid from Marvel. Ever hear of the TwoPew Kid? No, well, you're not alone. This unsung Marvel hero might not be as flashy as Iron Man or as powerful as Thor, but he's got a unique charm of his own. Matt Hawks started his life as a Harvard lawyer in the 1800s, but destiny took him to a small town where he trained under a legendary slinger. When he was all trained up, he donned the iconic cowboy hat and became the infamous cowboy, making his debut in 1962. What sets him apart is his time-traveling escapades, though. He's been zipping back and forth between the past and the present, even at one point lending a hand to the Avengers. Despite his long history, he's been overshadowed by the big names, with his appearances being sporadic outside the 70s. But don't underestimate the TwoPew Kid, because he's one of Marvel's unsung heroes. At number 1 is Bullet Man and Bullet Girl from Fawcett Comics. Have you ever heard of Bullet Man and Bullet Girl? I hope not, then I would have failed. But these two are some of the most underrated superheroes in the comic book universe. Jim Barr, a former forensic scientist, concocted a serum intended to rid people of their criminal tendencies. However, when he tested it on himself, he found himself supercharged with enhanced strength and intellect. Just like that, he became Bullet Man. Sporting a nifty gravity-regulating helmet, Bullet Man could soar through the skies. And not to be outdone, his girlfriend, and later wife, Suzanne Kent, donned a costume of her own, joining the ranks as Bullet Girls. These two lovebirds fought crime together, and their adventure started back in 1940, but sadly they disappeared a decade later. DC Comics later breathed new life into these heroes by licensing them in the 70s. They all became a part of the Marvel family, the All-Star Squadron, and the 7 Soldiers of Victory, cementing their place in the superhero pantheon. So the next time you're chatting about superheroes, don't forget to mention Bullet Man and Bullet Girl, because they might not be the most famous, but they definitely are super. Just because a hero isn't a household name doesn't mean they can't inspire us or teach us something. And who knows, maybe one of these lesser known characters will become one of your new favorite superheroes. As always, if there's a lesser known superhero that you think I've missed, feel free to let me know down in the comments. This has been AJ Spatola with Top 10 Nerd, and I'll catch you all in another video. Later, nerds.